Welcome to Lambeau Field for this exciting discussion we're going to have today. Of course, appreciate everyone taking the time out of their schedules to join us this morning. Boy, what a great announcement Monday by the NFL for our community and for our state. I know everybody that's been involved is really excited about it. A little bit of housekeeping up here. We're going to have some speakers with some prepared remarks, and then we'll take some questions here at the podium afterward. And then after that, if we have some time, we'll be able to do some follow-ups, perhaps off to the side. And as you may expect, we've had a lot of interest in this announcement, which is fantastic. But I want to place some realistic expectations on some of the information we'll be able to discuss today. We'll talk about the announcement, what it means to the community and the state. As far as details about the event itself, a lot of those will come later. So I just ask for everyone's patience. You know, we've had questions about parking and public safety and, you know, where are the gates going to be and those types of things. So planning at that level of detail will be down the road. So I know there's some questions along those lines, but today our goal is to talk about the announcement itself, and those details will come into later focus. So I just hope everybody understands that. And believe me, we'll have a lot of great stories to talk about during this 2-year process. 2 years. We have a 2-year ramp up to this. So settle in and we'll be ready to go. Want to welcome some, well, we've got a number of guests here today, so want to welcome a few of them individually, but we've had a lot of support from the community, of course, and the state. But here today, we've got Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich, Ashwaubenon Village President Mary Kardowski, Troy Streckenbach, Brown County Executive is here today. I know we've got some other local leaders at that level, so thank you for your support in coming today and your ongoing support and cooperation. Our Stadium District Board has been very helpful throughout this process. I know our chair is here, Leah Weicker, and Barb Dorff is here. I know we had some other members that were going to try and make it too. Vice Chair Keith Lucius was maybe going to come, but our whole board, including Chad Weininger, Mark Grahl, Bill Galvin, current director Brian Dworak, and our former director Pat Webb. He's here with Diane Roscom and the Stadium District Board team. Rob Coles, of course, is on that board. And at the state level, we've been certainly received a lot of help and support, and we've got some considerations that are taking place at the state level to help support the event as well. And Area Representative David Steffen is here. We thank Dave for his leading the support. Rob Coles on the Senate side is leading the support as well. We got Representative Peter Schmidt is here. We thank him and others who have been very helpful. Christina Shelton, Senator Eric Wimberger, Andre Jacques, Senator Rachel Cabral Guevara, Representatives Joel Kitchens, Elijah Benke, Rob Swearingen, Dave Murphy, Paul Tittle, Bob Whitkey, Gay Magnifici, Ty Bowden, and Angie Sapir have been helpful. And a teammate of ours down in Madison, Jim Steineke, has been helpful. And from Governor Evers' office, Carl is here today. I don't know if I saw him come in, but Governor has been very supportive as well. So at the state level, a lot of great support, and we are excited to continue this process. And with that, I think a lot of you have probably already seen this video that our team put together, but I thought we would play it again to give us a little sample of what is to come.
This is Green Bay. This is Title Town.
It is small-town America. It's blue-collar America.
There's nobody that matches up with this place right here.
The Packers represent something very unique in the NFL, and the fact that it's essentially publicly owned.
The atmosphere, the fans. The Packers are the NFL at its roots.
We love our history. We love our tradition.
You just feel like you're going into the heart of football.
There's a connection there between the team, the players, the coaches, and the community that's priceless.
The Packers, there's just not another team like them. It's the greatest story in sports.
You can be a little guy guy with a great ambition, great determination, and great skill, and you can succeed in America. In many ways, that's what Green Bay represents.
In my opinion, there wouldn't be any professional football without the Packers and their tradition in Green Bay.
This is Lambeau Field. This is where the Lombardi teams practiced and played.
Lombardi changed everything in terms of race with the Packers.
It was uncommon to draft African Americans in the first round, but Vince Lombardi broke the mold.
He didn't see black or white, he just saw green and gold.
I've always said there's no better football city than Green Bay.
The fans showed up for us. That was my family.
Green Bay Packer football, it is part of the fabric of life, not only in Green Bay, but the entire state of Wisconsin, and in many cases beyond.
Have you been to Lambeau Field? That's the #1 place to go.
Everywhere you go, you bump into the history of the National Football League.
The NFL began in small, medium-sized markets, and the Packers are still the root of that. Their stadium's in a neighborhood.
It's unlike any other experience in the league. Oh, God, it gives me goosebumps right now.
The Packers have become a symbol of success in the NFL.
It's a history book. It's a history book of the National Football League.
So I've watched that a few times and still get excited watching it. And if I may, I think I speak for a lot of us that grew up in the area who, certainly grew up following the Packers and as fans and maybe dreaming about playing for the Packers, but also even part of that, like having your name called on draft day as being selected by the Packers. And as an organization, as a community, to have that event take place here in 2025 is going to be very exciting and very special. So with that, I would like to invite the gentleman who had this process in mind and led us through it to make some remarks. Packers President, CEO, Mark Murphy.
Thank you, Aaron, and welcome everybody. It has been a great week, not only for the Packers, but the greater Green Bay community, and actually really the entire state of Wisconsin. Packers, as we've said, are not only excited about this, but we're also honored to be selected to host the 2025 draft right here in Green Bay and Wisconsin. And we greatly appreciate the work of so many people within the organization, but do want to give special mention to Gabrielle Dow, who has led the effort for us. It's been a long journey, and we'll talk a little bit about the time, but I think everybody has shown patience and persistence, and it's great to. There have been many times we thought we were close, and it's really it's great to be here, and it was great to have the announcement officially come from the league on Monday. Our others, certainly a lot of people within the organization deserve credit, but particularly I want to recognize Megan Roberson, Candy Goltz. I know Candy is here. Aaron Popke. Aaron's been integral to this effort. Craig Schilbauer, Joan Malcheski, Julie Leung, Charlie Miller-Wise, and so many others. And we've got, it's actually a little less than 2 years before we'll be hosting this draft. It's a lot of work, and that team will certainly grow over the next 2 years. And I anticipate that everybody within the organization at some point is going to have some involvement in this effort. I also want to give special credit. I mean, this is something, and we've been literally working on since 2016. And our senior staff, our senior leadership team, Ed Policy has been integral to that effort. Paul Baniel. Paul will be retiring soon, and this will be part of his legacy that we were able to bring the draft in, announced under during his tenure here. Russ Ball, Craig Benzel. You're going to have to excuse me. I'm going to thank a lot of people here because it takes a village to bring a draft to Green Bay. But other members of the senior staff mentioned Craig Benzel, Nicole Ledvina, Jason Wallers, and obviously Gabrielle Dell is also a part of the senior staff. Packers Executive Committee has been very supportive of this, Executive Committee of our board, with our led by initially Tom Olson, did a great job for us, and now Susan Finko. I also do want to give special mention to Mark McMullen. I think a lot of you know what a obviously great person Mark was. Our longtime treasurer, member of our executive committee. He was integral in this effort, and it's really sad that he's not here to see this today, but Mark deserves an awful lot of credit for all the work that he put into making sure that this effort eventually became successful. We also want to thank the team at Discover Green Bay, led by Brad Toll. Their work with the hotels and other venues has been really invaluable, and you know that's going to continue to be an awful lot of work, and they really are going to be a key part of this process going forward over the next couple years. We're also appreciative of the local governments, local communities, particularly obviously Green Bay, Ashwaubenon, and Brown County. It's great to see the representatives here today. They will all be integral in terms of putting on the event, from public safety to public works to many other pieces that are really needed to host an event of this size. We really would be remiss if I didn't also give thanks to the league office. Obviously, Commissioner Roger Goodell. Special mention, though, also to Peter O'Reilly, who within the league office, who oversees all the major events and kind of leads the league's major events committee, for having confidence in the Packers and in Green Bay to hold a first-class event. I know he's really excited. He's going to be spending a lot of time in Green Bay over the next 2 years, and looking forward to that. But really excited and appreciative of their support. Aaron mentioned the Stadium District Board. Obviously, we work closely with them. Really excited to bring concerts here and college football games, and this really takes it to another level. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. And obviously at the state level, you know, both Governor Evers and members of the legislature have been very supportive of the effort to land the draft. We know that work is underway as we speak on the state budget, and we are hopeful that the state will partner with us on supporting this event. We also have state leaders. We hope and we know that they recognize the tremendous opportunity the draft presents to showcase not only Green Bay, but the entire state in a number of different ways. The state support will allow us to maximize the benefit of the event. I'd also like to thank our area representatives who are here today. David Steffen, I know he's here, and Senator Rob Coles. I don't know if Rob was able to make it, but both of them have been very supportive. You know, we've been working on this for a number of years. Really, when the league first, I think most of you know, the league held the draft in New York City for like 40 years. It was Radio City Music Hall, and I don't know if it was Peter O'Reilly, but had the great idea, let's treat it like the Super Bowl. We'll move it around the league, and with a focus on communities that probably would never be able to host a Super Bowl, and had two years in a row in Chicago, and that's really when we started the effort in about 2016. Really kind of looked at it and put an offer, a bid in to host a 2019 draft. And so you can see from 2016, we have been very persistent, and credit goes to so many different people within the organization. But Aaron Popke and Brad Toll believe it was in 2017 when they first attended a draft. You've been to many others since then to see exactly what it takes for a community to host a draft. So they've been really great. You know, since then, you know, we have committed many more people as well as resources to build out our plan. The other thing I would mention, you know, you think back to 2016, there was no Titletown. and that'll be integral to hosting the draft. There also was No Rush Expo, which is perfect for hosting a draft. And then Brad and I were talking earlier, the Visitors and Convention Bureau will be done and up and running. Is going to be spectacular. So those things are all part of what got us to a point now where we can say that we will host a draft and we'll be able to do an outstanding job with it. And there's many great things about Green Bay. I think one of the things we're really going to focus on and distinguishes us from all the other cities is our history and tradition and the connection between the city and the fans and our team. The draft is really, it's the biggest and the most popular NFL event outside of the football season, and brings fans together to celebrate their favorite teams, experience the newest players being selected, and then all helps build excitement for the season. What I've always said about the draft and the popularity and the growth of it is phenomenal over the last 10 to 15 years. To me, it brings together the very best of college football and the NFL. So college fans want to see where their favorite players are going. NFL fans want to see where the best players are coming, and it's really become a major media event. And one of the things we're really excited about, we all know the passion that our fans have and how unique that is. I think that's going to really show the whole nation exactly how passionate our fans are, and we see it not only at Lambeau Field, but the way our fans travel. And I am anticipating the atmosphere for the draft in 2025 with our fans there, and fans from NFL teams and fans of NFL teams across the league. But it's really going to be exciting, and I know that they'll bring that energy, and that'll really make it a really special event. The event itself is expected to attract, we anticipate it'll attract almost 250,000 fans to Green Bay and the entire state of Wisconsin, and create an economic impact of over $94 million. To put that in perspective, one home Packer game is about $15 million, so it's more than 6 times the impact of a normal home game. Of the $94 million, that's statewide. $20 million will be here in Green Bay, so you can see it's really going to benefit the entire state. On TV, more than 54 million people will be watching. So it's we say it's like a 2-year infomercial or commercial highlighting all the benefits of Green Bay and Wisconsin, and really excited about it. It's really just, it's a very rare opportunity for the state of Wisconsin to be on a world stage like this, and it's really excited to bring it forward. The business development opportunities around and during the draft will showcase the many opportunities we have for talent and business investment. We will obviously also highlight that we are the best place, #1 place in the United States to live, right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I've heard from a lot of people across the league that question that. And they obviously didn't take those votes in the winter. But we all know what a special place Green Bay is. All of us involved already feel we're building an experience that is bigger than ourselves. This is something that we're going to leave for this community. It'll be part of the legacy of the Packers organization and the Green Bay community. And it is an incredible once-in-a-generation opportunity that will create a lasting legacy for Wisconsin. It will be exciting, and it's an awful lot of work, as we've talked about. We have less than 2 years, but we're ready to get started, and really excited about the opportunity we have ahead of us. With that, I'll turn it back over to Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We are all excited, as we mentioned. And next up, who is leading our effort in putting our team together and all the logistics that will come. She's got everything figured out already. So I was a little remiss when I said we don't know all the details yet. She knows. So We can ask her later. I'm just kidding. But Gabrielle Dow, Vice President of Marketing and Fan Engagement for the Packers. Gabrielle.
Good morning. Thank you for coming, and sorry I have a cold. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. Mark called me on May 9th to say, we got it, but we have to wait for the ownership to vote. And my life flashed before my eyes for the next 2 years. So that's where I think the cold came from. I will echo Mark's statements and say that we couldn't be more excited for the city of Green Bay and the state of Wisconsin. I want to share a little bit of the backstory of the draft and how we got here. And as Mark said, from about 2016 to 2018, we lightly expressed our interest in hosting, but we really didn't get serious until 2019. In the spring of 2019, we reached out to Discover Green Bay, and we looped you in, and we met Brad Toll and his team in person. And along with Aaron Popke and Candy Goltz and Julie Leung at the time and myself, we formed our local organizing committee. Thus, the Packers, from what the NFL has told us, we are the first NFL team to drive the draft bid process with the league. So due to the small nature of our community and our city, Mark knew that we could help Brad and our local community and state get this here. So he was all on board. And then in January of 2020, we were ready to submit this bid for 22. However, the NFL told us that 22 was going to Vegas because COVID. So Vegas was supposed to host the draft in 2020 and then moved to 22 due to COVID. So then we submitted a bid for 24 and expressed our interest in 25. And the draft said, nope, 24 is going to Detroit and 25 is off the table. Okay, so we set our focus on 27. And then in January, we get a call from the league and said, nope, 25 is back on board. So we furiously called Brad, Beth, and Cameron and said, hey, revise those contracts. And they came to the table, and then with the addition of help from Megan Robertson and Aaron Popke and Candy, here we are today. So we couldn't be more grateful for your partnership and all your hard work behind the scenes. So thank you so much, Brad and team. Over the next 2 years, our local organizing committee will work to promote and showcase this great state of Wisconsin with the goal of getting fans across the United States and the world to come visit Wisconsin for our 2025 draft. Whether you visit Wisconsin because of the draft, or you're checking your bucket list off and visiting Lambeau Field, or you're turning the draft into a family vacation or even a business trip, together with our friends from various visitor centers across the state, and along with the Wisconsin Tourist Department, the Green Bay Packers, Discover Green Bay, and our friends over there with the Resch and Expo and Resch Arena, we will together ensure that all are welcome to our great state, and that your time with us during the 2025 draft will be a lifetime memory. So now the work begins. The NFL will be here next month for their first site visit. And over the course of the next 2 years, we'll have many meetings with the NFL on how the event will be set up and where the main stage will be located. So everyone has an idea of where the main stage will be located. And I'm here to tell you that that is not our decision. That is the NFL's decision. So dream away, but we will really rely on the NFL. We do know, though, that the main stage and the NFL experience, the green room, media center, red carpet, and fan areas will all take place on what we're calling the Lambeau Field campus. And the Lambeau Field campus will include the Lambeau Field, Titletown, and the Resch Expo and Resch Arena. So that is our Lambeau Field campus, and that is where the 2025 draft will take place. We will be also working with the state, the county, the village, and the city to determine logistical details, from security to transportation to parking, to everything from the media and command centers and different logistics from getting in and out, and where the campus ends and begins. So we will definitely need help with the community on all of this, and especially with the staffing and volunteer opportunities that we're going to slowly unveil. So more to come on that. We have a rough budget, about $7.5 million, and the Packers and the Stadium District both have contributed funds, and we're hopeful that the state of Wisconsin will help support this once-in-a-lifetime event. Our next step is to put a host committee together of supporters and donors, and more information will be coming soon on that. And then we'll continually update information or anything that we find out regularly, and fans can find more information on packers.com/draft25. So in closing, we're very excited, and we can't wait to show the world what the state of Wisconsin and the city of Green Bay have to offer with the 2025 draft. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabrielle. And next up, as reference, Discover Green Bay's President CEO, Brad Toll. Brad, come on up.
Thanks, sir. Well, good morning. What a special day for Green Bay in this community. As has been referenced a few times, we've been at this for a while. In fact, Aaron and I were reminiscing when the NFL announced they were leaving Radio City. I was on the internet right away looking to see, and we did have internet when we started the process. But I was looking right away to see how many seats there were at Radio City, just about 6,000, how much meeting space they had. And I called Aaron and said, you know what, we could do that at Rush Center. It would fit in Green Bay. And he said, we're already kind of talking about that over here. It's like, well, let's go. So good things come to those that wait. Took us a bit, but we couldn't be prouder to have this event coming our direction. At Discover Green Bay, we bid on pieces of business every day. Seldom a day goes by that we're not after something. And this one by far is the largest event that we've ever been a part of, and really probably the largest event that'll ever come to Green Bay in our history. The only thing bigger is the Super Bowl, and we have a few structure challenges in the community, namely about 35,000 hotel rooms that we would need before we could tackle that one. So I have a feeling I'll be retired before we start talking about a Super Bowl. But a few thank yous that we would like to pass along. It's been mentioned, the partnership between Discover Green Bay and the Packers. Honestly, there's no way we could have attempted this bid without working with the Packers. Cleveland, Nashville, Kansas City, all of those bureaus like ours, organizations like ours, they have $20 million budgets and about 60 people on staff. We have 14 at Discover Green Bay. We are mighty, but there's only 14 of us. And without the Packers' commitment to this and the tremendous staff that they have here at Lambeau Field working for the team, it just would not have been something that would have ever become a reality here. I do want to thank the two people on my team that have been instrumental in putting this together, Beth Ulatowski and Cameron Teskey. The Packers, of course, committed Lambeau Field, Titletown, in this area early on. Our responsibility was to go out and get the other remaining venues that could be used for a draft, as well as make certain we had the hotel block in place. If you've ever seen, it's like a national holiday in Green Bay when the schedule comes out, because everyone's calling our hotels trying to get a hotel room. So if they said, hey, the draft is coming to Green Bay, and we would not have had that space reserved, it wouldn't have been good. So we have all of the space that the NFL needs all reserved already. So we're in good shape there, and Cameron and Beth did the lion's share of that work. Also, venues outside of the campus we worked on. If there's special events or things that they want to do, we want to be able to provide a variety of options for where that particular event could be. And then it was mentioned earlier, our friends from PMI Entertainment Group, of course, that building in Complex, as well as their knowledge and support, is going to be critical moving forward. And actually, I know the county executive is here, and Mary, probably some of the county board members. You know, when we talked a few years back about what to do with the arena, in fact, I think that was about a 10-year conversation. Things take time. But we were talking about what to do with the old arena and started to put together the idea for this expo hall. And we had ideas for logging Congress and some of those types of events for that building. But really, this was the crown jewel. We knew in order to attract an event of this magnitude, we needed a building like that. And as soon as we called PMI, they were reserving dates and putting the space aside for us. So we look forward. Now the work starts. As Gabrielle forms committees, we'll all be on them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you to the county board and the village and all those that were a part of making that building happen. I also want to thank our tourism partners throughout Wisconsin. Within the last 24 hours, I believe I've heard from every bureau head in the state of Wisconsin, as well as a number from outside of the state. They all provided letters that were a part of our bid and put their support out there, saying they would do all they could to help us elevate the draft within the state, and they've recommitted to that now that we have the draft coming. Also wanted to talk a little bit about, Mark mentioned the number of people coming, approximately 240 to 250,000 is what's expected. You never know for sure. In a $20 million impact here, we're often referred to as a drive market. We have a lot of people that drive into Green Bay from the Midwest. And, you know, given our budget size, we do a lot of marketing in the Midwest, which probably leads to us being a drive market. But that being said, looking at the Cleveland draft, a lot of people drove into Cleveland. So that bodes very well for us spreading the impact of this event all over the state of Wisconsin. As they come in, they'll be filling their cars with gas, having lunch at cafes and in restaurants throughout our state, and we fully expect fans will be staying overnight in cities throughout Wisconsin, including Milwaukee, Madison. So we talk about a $20 million impact here, a $94 million impact in Wisconsin. That is very, very true. It's not something we're just saying. That impact will spread everywhere. And that's a very exciting thing. The last thing I wanted to mention, I have had the opportunity, the privilege really, to attend a number of drafts over the years, a lot of them with Mr. Propke going, do we think we can do this? We knew that we could, but one of the really cool things about this event is when these guys are drafted into a team, you're literally seeing their life change in a moment. It's really a cool event. And the idea that we can bring that to our residents and people in Wisconsin can see that happen here, wow. It's a special day. Special day for Wisconsin. It will be a special week in Wisconsin when the draft is here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad. And yes, the very light expression of interest. I think we were, as you were reminiscing, it was about a 4-page document of, hey, here's what we can do, and here's what venues we'll use. And then the binder to submit the bid now is, you know, like this thick. So it's been a process, it's been a fun process, and that process continues. With that, that concludes our prepared remarks here from the podium. And I would ask our three speakers here maybe to step back up. And with that, we'll open it up to some questions. And depending on the question, we can direct it to one or more people to answer. With that, feel free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the question is, why are you so emotional? Part of it, I think, is growing up in northeastern Wisconsin, traveling to a lot of these drafts and seeing this happen. being a Packer fan for all those years, and of course, you know, we get there and we're supposed to be looking at how the event is laid out and whatnot. I'm counting Packer fans, and very proud of, oh, there's a whole bunch over there. And so being able to bring this to our community and share it with the residents that are here and with the residents of Wisconsin, what a cool thing to be a part of and be able to bring. I mean, we talk about the economic impact, and certainly that's a huge part of it. But I mean, when it's here, it's going to rock the community, and people are going to absolutely love it. And I think there'll be some tears. I know there will be from this guy, probably from Gabrielle too. I think we've already had a few. Thank you. Well, typically, retail and food and beverage are the highest spends from visitors. I would expect that would probably hold true in this case as well. You know, obviously lodging also plays a pretty big part of that. But oftentimes people don't realize the places that people are actually out spending. Like, you know, you think retail, why would you go to something like this and go, you know, shopping and buying retail stuff? But people do. WBAY, the girls basketball, when they come in March, right before prom season, our dress stores tell brides not to come in that week because they're all shopping for dresses. So people come into town and they're looking for all sorts of things. I would guess we'll sell some cheese curds during that week. So that, and cheese heads. Yeah, so that spend goes through the community, and it goes to a lot of different places. You know, gas stations are another very obvious thing, but people are buying water and things from grocery stores. You literally find them everywhere.
I know you guys are still kind of working to get a lot of things figured out, logistics, but can you kind of share too, we have 2 years. What is the biggest thing, the biggest challenge that you guys are going to be working through the next 2 years? And if the community can help in those challenges, how other people can help with that?
Gabrielle. I'll just add to what the business question real quick, that as was referenced, the NFL's got a great Business Connect program that they bring in with the draft that engages local diverse businesses. So there's going to be lots of opportunities for business development. We've mentioned that. You know, if I may say, our Packers Mentor Protege program will have some people involved in that. I think that it's a great opportunity for businesses, not only who directly support the draft, but there's going to be business opportunities. I know Lori Radke at the Greater Green Bay Chamber and Barb Lemieux with New North. You know, there's going to be lots of people working on this and connecting businesses and development, investment, talent attraction, all those things. It's a great opportunity these next 2 years. So that question about what's ramping up.
Sure. I think our first big hurdle is fundraising. And so this is really the NFL's business, not the Packers' business, or not Lambeau Field, or, you know, it is the NFL. The NFL benefits from this and keeps, you know, all ancillary revenue, and their sponsors are tied to this as well. So we're basically just hosting a host location, and so we do have to raise the money to pay for the infrastructure, whether it's waste management, security, parking, and closing and creating a campus. So that's our first bit of business. And then a year out, we'll definitely start planning operationally, and we have some new programs that we're going to create around our volunteers and around getting people to be a part of the draft itself for that week and the month leading out. So, and it's about a 30 to 35-day load-in. And so when we get closer, the logistics will be all-consuming for all of us involved in terms of how do we get people in and out. And remember, our football team is still working at this time, so we have a business to operate, and all the other businesses do too. So we're going to be all working together to collaborate and figure this out. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, the Packers are contributing $1 million. I'm not sure where the $5 million came from. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, she can. No, the budget's 7.5. We've committed $1 million at least to get that started. We are raising an additional $4 million, $4.5 million to get to that 5.5, and then we're hopeful that the state will contribute as was outlined. And that $5 million we're going to raise on top of that, or within that, the stadium district has pledged some money as well. So we've already got some donors online, and as Gabrielle mentioned earlier, we'll have a subsequent event to outline those next steps as well. But we anticipate this excitement and everything that's going to be rolling from here. We anticipate we'll have a lot of interest.
Where do conversations currently stand with the state? Of course, you're working with both the governor's office and the legislature. And how confident are you that you would be able to get $2 million as part of the next state budget?
We are hopeful that will go through. As mentioned earlier, we've got some leaders here that are supporting that effort, and we've talked to a number of people in Madison who are very excited that the state has this opportunity, and I know that process is ongoing right now, so we're hopeful that it'll gain the support that's needed. I think in my conversations and just hearing what people are saying, it's an opportunity that is tremendous. So the monies that we talked about that'll need to be supported, public safety, and really the promotion of it too. That's part of our budget. Yeah, this is a 2-year commercial, international commercial that starts now, and we want to maximize that effort. So the budget behind that part of it will be just the promotion to make sure we're capturing and getting the full benefit that we can. Yeah, Mark will add to that too. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, obviously this is going to be a different draft than, say, the draft in Chicago or Kansas City. Probably the biggest issue I think that people have thought about is hotel rooms. But, I think with a couple things, people are going to drive a little farther, stay a little farther than they would in bigger cities. But, for events like the Ryder Cup, I think we've shown that we can do that across the state. And, we've had some discussions, I don't know where they are, with assuming the ice has melted on Lake Michigan, maybe having some cruise ships. And so we've had some discussions also with Amtrak about the possibility of running train service up from Milwaukee. So we're working across the state and off a number of different things to make it as easy as possible for fans to come here.
Mark, you mentioned patience and persistence a couple of times. Was there ever a point where you thought this is just a dream, it's not going to happen?
Lance, that's a great question. There were some times when we kind of looked at each other as, will this ever happen? Are we just too small a community? But, I think, keep getting back to the history and tradition that means so much, not only to this community, but to the league. And, as I mentioned, I really think Titletown was instrumental. We're all biased. We think it's the best development in the NFL around the stadium. So unique, and so many people across the league have never seen Titletown. So for them to see it, and Titletown's going to be different 2 years from now than it is now, even. So it's continuing to really be a great asset for us. And then the Resch Expo as well. So a number of those different, I think those things have really kind of helped put us over the goal line and make us an even stronger in terms of the eyes of the league, in terms of us being able to host it.
And we keep hearing stories about economic impact and how it's going to benefit Wisconsin and the Green Bay community. Are the Packers looking to, I guess, give back to the people of Wisconsin or the community of Green Bay whatsoever between now and the draft, during the draft, or even after the draft, or is that just going to be the draft itself?
Give back in sense of just the overall program. Well, I think our community knows, and those of you who cover the team know, that our charity impact each year is in excess of $9 million through our Packers Give Back program. And the work that we put in on this, I think, loosely could fall under that effort as well. I mean, the time and effort, and I think, as was mentioned by Gabrielle, all the other cities that have put this on, it's been led by different entities. But for here, given our unique nature, we took the lead. So that was part of that effort as well. And then in terms of all our space, the $1 million at least that we'll be putting in, I think, that's our down payment, if you will. But we're excited about the tremendous impact this will have, and it'll be, as Mark said, a legacy. I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, the impact of this, obviously, there's benefits immediately, but as we look at it, this is going to benefit the Packers, Green Bay, and Wisconsin for years to come. Just you can't put a price or a cost or dollar figure on what the publicity, what that's going to mean to people, that now, 5-10 years from now will come visit Green Bay because, geez, I saw that. Saw when they hosted the draft, and I saw all the different things they have in the community. It'd be a great place, not only maybe to visit, but to live. And it's going to be a challenge for us. We're by far the smallest community to ever host a draft, but I know we're up for it. And financially, this is probably going to cost. I mean, we're not going to make money on it. It's really a community. This is something we're doing. Yes, long run, it's going to help all of us. It's going to help the Packers. It's going to help Green Bay. But and we're a community-owned team. So for us, this is really this is our sweet spot. This is going to be a tremendous benefit for the community.
Mark, when you got people like you, like Brad, the minute the Radio City Music Hall departure announcement was made, they're already Googling, hey, maybe we could do that. Did you have to be sold on this idea a little bit, or were you thinking in the same way? And will it still be pre-admission to the draft?
Oh yeah, it's free. Yeah, no, yeah. There's no charge at all. No. It was an easy sell. This is as much as we would love to host a Super Bowl here. That ain't happening. So we're going to play in as many as we can. But this is the biggest NFL event that we can have here, and we knew it would be a challenge, but through hard work and an awful lot of people within the organization, it's going to become a reality.
I understand the draft stage obviously has been tweaked yet, still everything like that, but have you guys had any ideas of where you think maybe it looked good or where you think preferably where?
Yes, we have given the NFL suggestions. So, whether it's inside or outside the stadium, it's really their decision. So, we would love to probably have it inside of Lambeau Field and utilize that area. But again, it's really up to the NFL.
When you say inside Lambeau Field, do you envision the stage on the field?
Yes. The stage is about, I can't remember, 100 yards across. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, Dallas, and so they used half of the building in Dallas, basically for the stage, because of the backdrop.
So with this event happening in spring, is there a plan if unpredictable weather happens?
Yes, we've had many long discussions about that, hence the budget. Snow removal was quickly added. So go ahead, Mark.
So Peter O'Reilly from the league, he and I were talking. I said, Peter, what if it snows? He goes, that would be great.
Well, I think that the date is still up in the air.
There's 3 different dates the league has suggested, so we put all of them on hold with all our partners, and I'm assuming they're going to choose the very last week, so due to weather. But yeah, I hope it would snow. So.
I'm just thinking in terms of like if flights are coming in,
Mm-hmm.
people on them, just if anything would be impacted in that way at all.
Yes, you're nailing it, but you're just praying that it doesn't. So, but look at Chicago, and both of those drafts, the weather was fine, so we have hope.
The league office has an old saying, and this is for NFL TV games: white means green. People love to watch football played in the snow. So, and apparently the league thinks people will love to watch the draft held in snow.
Just one other comment on the snow removal. That was a question that we were asked, and it's like, who knows how to remove snow better than Green Bay, Wisconsin? So even with the airport, they're accustomed to that. They work with it all year long. You know, we have snow during Packer games and the private jets fly in and out nonstop. So we're probably better equipped than anywhere else in the country to deal with inclement weather, but we're not going to have it.
You certainly have to prepare for the outlier possibilities, but
Well, we're going to have golf outings.
yeah. So I think part of the detail we submitted were average highs and lows and those types of things. So we're gonna hit one right down the middle and be a perfect spring day, week.
How can a regular person get involved, and are you anticipating a number of volunteers who need to be involved as well?
Yeah, I'll just answer that quickly. I think Gabrielle mentioned that all those things will be coming, and as those developments get in more fine detail, we'll have all that information available for people. So stay tuned on a lot of the details, like I said at the very beginning too. We'll get there. It'll be exciting. Other? Brad, I don't know if you want to speak. Yes.
Yes. The more people we, of course, can keep in our community, the better. So, and short-term rentals, it should be noted as well, are inspected by the county health inspections and pay the taxes that hotels pay. And if that's the case, certainly we welcome it. Another thing to consider, if you have a good driving record or you have 2 years to clear it up, we also would love to see Uber and Lyft become a bigger part of the community as well. And we'll be working with them to see how we might connect with them and with more people in the community. Who better to bring people around than people that live here and know the community? And they'll come from other areas of the state most likely as well. But it's always fun when you get with a local and, hey, where are the best cheese curds? And you start those conversations. We want we're known for being such nice people in this part of the world that it would really be great to have more people bringing our guests around and telling them what a great place this is to live.
What have discussions with law enforcement been like in terms of security for the event?
Yeah, we, with respect to public safety and logistics and those types of things, like we mentioned on the onset, those types of details will be certainly well into place. And right now we're still at the beginning stages, but this event has taken place in other great locations to a large scale, and the NFL is heavily involved with that, and they've got a great track record, and all that information will be used as we develop the plan here. So we'll work with all the official agencies in the area, and you know, we anticipate it'll be a great event in that regard too. So stay tuned more on that.
Because of Green Bay's resources relative to other host cities, is there going to be a need to bring in public safety from other communities, or perhaps work closely with visitors bureaus and other surrounding communities to try to coordinate where people are staying and transportation and things of that sort?
Yeah, those details will all come together. Yes. Coordinated. No, go ahead.
Are there plans to get fans, out of the stadium district and into other parts of our community, downtown, museums, things like that?
Yes. With respect to the event itself, we spoke of the campus here, but there are tremendous opportunities all around northeastern Wisconsin, and it's a weekend event, really a week event. So I know Brad and his team will have everybody nearby and far. I mean, you mentioned all the other bureaus that are going to be engaged in this. So certainly in and around Greater Green Bay, but really spread throughout the opportunities that we have around here. I don't know, Brad, if you want to add to that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We have a great website. The Packers also have one. We'll be linking back and forth. So trying to get people stirred around the community will be a priority. As well, the visitor center, that's one of the main reasons we're building it, is people come in and what should I do, what other things. We don't know, again, whether it'll be in the footprint of the event. I'm guessing probably not, but that would be a great spot for people to come and ask questions about how do I get in, what are they doing with this. So we expect that that'll be a very important place for visitors coming into the area, and one of the goals will be to spread them around. Yeah, and it's very early. We've not really gotten into that kind of detail, but yeah, absolutely, that'll be a goal.
Brad, are you anticipating any sort of infrastructure updates between now and the draft, or is it too soon to tell?
Probably a little too soon to tell, but you know, there are some pretty cool projects that are out there being talked about, public market and things throughout the community. So we kind of joked about this yesterday. This could be the rally cry. Let's get some of these projects done. You know, the Expo Center was probably the big one that we knew we had to have in order to host something like this. But, you know, if you're kicking the tires on possibly doing something, now might be a good time to get a shovel in the ground. We're sure glad we have the visitor center nearly complete.
All right. Thank you for, again, coming today for this very exciting discussion on the heels of Monday's announcement. We will definitely have updates planned, some more formal than others, so our websites will have that, and of course we'll communicate it. It's, as we said, a tremendous opportunity for everyone. We're hopeful for the additional support that's been discussed, and we know we've got some great opportunities ahead. I'll also thank a couple more members of our team, Katie Hermsen and Adam Hobel-Heinrich, who have welcomed their new draft pick, Madeline. So this morning, the newest draft pick to Katie's family. So many of you in the media know Katie. She's and her husband Adam, co-workers of ours, but I know they're perhaps watching, so congratulations.
No, they're sleeping.
I think they have better.
So again, that concludes our event. Thanks for coming, and we are around based on some time, perhaps for some additional questions, but feel free to converse with each other and do some further celebrations. Thanks for coming.